Hello and welcome to Talking Good Game, and it's a preview of the FA Cup fourth round between Wigan Athletic and West Ham United on Saturday. As always, let's start with the same question. Mike, what's your thoughts on our opponents, Wigan?
Well, they're northern. After that, I'm going to struggle to really give you inform. Well, they're 5 points clear in League One. They're obviously quite a useful team. They've just beaten Bournemouth in the last round 3-0. I'm not going to pretend to have in-depth knowledge of their team, except they obviously played 2 up front, and they scored quite a lot of goals for the League One side, and I think we're going to struggle.
Yeah, I don't know too much about them. So I had to look. They're top of League One, but the difference between them and Shrewsbury, this team have a plus 40 goal difference. They know where the net is. Shrewsbury were very good defensively. Wigan are very good offensively. They've not lost a game since the 18th of November. That's the last time they lost a game. And they've only lost 2 games since the 24th of September. So they are a team in fine form. But Mike, they're top of League One. Now, I remember discussing this when we played Shrewsbury, and that is, should they be taking the FA Cup seriously, or should they be binning off, going, hang on, we've got a promotion challenge here?
Now, they're going to take it seriously, and why shouldn't they? They're 5 points clear of the League One. They're 5 points clear of any challenger, to them getting automatic promotion in great form. If I was them, I would get quite confidently and assume they are going to walk through this league. Do you know what I mean? I think they're shooing for automatic promotion. They really are the team, even though they draw quite a lot of games as well as win, but they rarely lose, and that is a recipe for promotion, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So if I was them, what have they got to lose by taking it seriously? They have not got an injury crisis, for example, and they're in great form, and it gives them a great opportunity to get another potentially big money earning game in the next round. So, and also some great big deals, that momentum thing we have on a promotion run. Cup runs can really add to that. So I think on every level they'll definitely take it seriously.
Do you fear them more than Shrewsbury, Mike? Because I certainly fear them a lot more than Shrewsbury, but do you?
Oh yeah, totally. As you already said, right? The thing Shrewsbury is they're very sound defensively, as we saw, and they were a good tight defensive unit. These boys score goals for fun. They play 2 up front. They're quick as well in attack, which is quite rare, for a League One side. They have got. I mean, they really put Bournemouth to the sword, didn't they? And I think they really are a team fit. They're in great form for a reason. I think to a certain extent, it might sound dark, but I would actually make them favourites for this game.
Yeah, I fear them as well. I think they're in, like you said, they are in brilliant form. They are scoring goals. They've got like some Nick Powell in there, who is better than League One standard, actually. And it's still a short window. This is what I said about Shrewsbury. It's still a short window. There's some of their players are probably hoping that a bigger club will come get them out of Wigan and take them into the Championship, the top half of the Championship or whatever. But let's talk about West Ham then, Mike. Do we take this one seriously? The injuries are mounting up. There's still quite a few games until you get to the final. It's not like the League Cup where we were 90 minutes away from the semi-final. But it's the FA Cup, isn't it?
Listen, mate, I think we should take every cup game seriously. You've said on this channel many times that is the only way we're ever going to win anything, and it would be. We've started about momentum, and I think if you look at clubs as a whole, the only way we're going to do real momentum yet is by getting that cup win in there. By at least in a decent cup run, getting to a semi, preferably a final, preferably even more so winning it, right? And it just builds that and the club as a unit really needs some fan love. That will bring that fan love. Also, I want to go. I want to see us win something. I mean, I've never done that. I've never been at a game where we've won a trophy at the end. Hooray, look. You know what I mean? It's just like, in my lifetime, when I've been old enough to be able to go, that, when I'm 50, for God's sake, do you know what I mean? I know, shock to everyone, but I am. And, I'm a wee nipper like you, as you like to say, up north, right? It's not even come close to you, has it? I mean, all right, we had the game against Liverpool in the cup final. But I mean, that was, look at how much that did for the club at that time as well. I don't think it's the thing that it dents your league form per se. I know you want to reverse it and say, well, what's what happened with Wigan? They got relegated. They're going to get relegated anyway.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. We have to take this seriously. I live for the cup every season. Every season, when people we do this thing and people say, "What's your hopes for? Where do you think we'll finish in the league?" I couldn't really care to an extent. I just want to see us do well in the cups. I want to see us take the cup seriously. I was seething the way we took the League Cup quarter-final with such disrespect, if you like. And I know people are going to point out that we've got Palace on Tuesday. The injuries are mounting up. But even when you look at our second-string squad, if you want to call it that, a bit harsh, but let's call it that for this sake, those players, the likes of Cullen and Burke, are championship players at the very least. To me, I think they're good enough for the Premier League. But if they were going out on loan, they'd be going to a championship club. So this is their direct opponent, if you like. They should be better than Wigan anyway. I'll be disappointed if Moyes bins this off. However, I can understand David Moyes' point of view on this one. When I listened to his press conference earlier and he was saying, I'd love to go to Wembley, I'd love to give the fans that. However, Premier League is priority, etc. And I think for Moyes, this fixture is just the wrong time almost. I think it's down to his bare bones. But speaking of the squad, Mike, is there anyone you'd would rest? Is there one player maybe you'd rest for this one?
There is enough people to rest, is there? I mean, come on. We haven't whoever can walk to the coach is in the team at the moment. It's got ridiculous, hasn't it? I'm going to start with, we were talking about Cullen, but I mean, Reece Burks played for, I think, 6 months for Wigan on loan, didn't he? I mean, he's definitely in the team. He knows all about it. It's, as you say, Cullen and Burke are at least championship level. I agree, I think they're Premier League level, and I think they should be in the team. If you're going to play the youngsters in this, play some of the attacking youngsters, not just the defensive ones, would be my advice. There's some real pace in attack in the under-23 team playing. I think, but, you know, I don't think, who can we rest? Who's left? I mean, okay, I think Noble will get rested. Yeah, I think he will. Mate, after that, who's left to rest? Really, I suppose Creswell you could rest. I don't even know if he's injured. I'm not sure what happened with him after the last game. I think it was cramp, wasn't it? So he probably could play, but they might well give him that space as well. But I mean, what would be worse, right? Think about this. Worse than losing that game if you're Moyes. And here's the risk he runs is exactly what happens to the Shrewsbury game. We get a replay. That would be worse.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to try and win it because that's a nightmare situation for him.
Yeah, the replay is definitely the worst case scenario for Moyes. For fans, losing is worse because they, at least with the replay, get the second chance to make amends. I think Zabaleta is going to get a rest. And I think one of Noble, Obi, and Chiati will get rest, and that's it. But when we say rest, they're still going to be on the bench. It's not even like stay at home type rest, is it? It's like you've still got to come with us, I'm afraid. But Hernandez, this is the start of his big chance. Lanzini's out for 5-6 weeks. Arnautovic is out for 3 to 4. It's now time, starting on Saturday, surely, it's time for Hernandez to step up to the plate.
It's definitely time for him, and he'll play without a shadow of a doubt. My issue with Hernandez isn't actually with Hernandez. It's how the team get the ball to him. Like when we played Shrewsbury in that first game, and he was receiving the ball with his back to goal, I don't know, 10 yards outside the penalty area at best. That is not where he works his magic yet. With Hernandez, you want to give him the ball inside the penalty area with a chance to turn and shoot or place the ball. We need to go wide to feed him or play some really good through balls to him. But you can't keep just lumping the ball up to him at top. It's not his game. I don't think that he's really to blame for a lot of this. I think it's the kind of the way he gets the ball and the places he receives the ball playing in a Moyes team is why Moyes doesn't rate him almost. It's not his fault. He just isn't that player.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's both parties to blame here. One is the setup that doesn't suit him, but two, his whole demeanour doesn't help him, though. When the ball comes up to him, it doesn't quite hit him. He's, you know, as the person playing the pass, that's the last thing you want to see the guy at the other end doing it, because next time you're going to think, well, I ain't going to try and give it to you because last time you threw your arms about, whereas I tried to give it to Ayew last time and he chased it at least. So they're both parties are to blame here, but youngsters, I don't include Rice, Burke, and Cullen here. They're not youngsters to me. They don't count. Even Rice, I know he's only 19 years old, doesn't count. But what youngsters would you play on Saturday then?
Queener. I think he comes in to give us some sort of attacking threat from midfield. Well, Byram's not a youngster either. I think you're right. I think he'll come in for, now that he's fit, he'll come in for Zabaleta. I would bring Martinez in. I would probably partner Martinez. If it was me, I would want Martinez and Hernandez up front. And I'll tell you why. Because if you are going to pump the ball on someone to hold up, he's actually a player that looks like he can do that. At least to some extent. He's reasonably big. He's got a pretty good first touch. He can start playing, and he's got a good passing range. He actually made the winner, didn't he, for Burke? Yeah, and he is actually a pretty tricky player to play against with good first touch, good passing range as well as being a good finisher and someone who can hold the ball up. He's got that whole package. I could see him working maybe with Hernandez. But I mean, again, we haven't been training with Moy. Maybe it doesn't work at all. But I would like to see him. And there is, oh God, what's his name? And a really fast guy who keeps coming on with the mental hair that I've seen play for the under-23. So I'll get his name in a minute. He's that. I'll come to me in a second. I'll carry on. I would like to have him at least on the bench. The other player, if I were, it depends what formation. I'm assuming he's going to go for the usual shape here with the 3-8-1-1, as I like to call it, right? With the 3 at the back. But I think it's like, if he plays 4-4-2, we'll give him a bit more room to experiment, you know, and then probably play a few more youngsters then. But it depends. It depends what sort of shape, if he wants to go for it. I think he'd be better, if I was Moyes, yeah, and just put Moyes hat on, I'm going to go for a make or break thing. As for Moyes, I mean, I wouldn't be that heartbroken because I can go to the replay, you know, and see the game. But I mean, if it was a replay for that reason, also we get another chance. As you say, I want us to win in the cup. But if for Moyes, if the replay's the worst thing, he might as well go for it and play a 4-4-2 and actually go, you know what, if we do this and beat them, great. If we lose, then for him, it's not the end of the world. He's being paid to keep us up, not to go to the FA Cup final.
Yeah, I have to agree. I would like to see Martinez partner Hernandez up for this one. The defence, we don't need any under-23s in the back line. Like you say, you've got Byram, Rice, Burke, Creswell or Masuaku on the left if you want. Ginger's still fit. Ogbona's still fit, although I would like to see him rested, actually. He's played a lot of games, Ogbonna. Your centre midfield's fine as well. You've got McCassie if you need him. He's got a lot of experience for an under-23 player in the under-23s. He's been the captain as well since Rice has stepped up. So it's about time to see if he can sink or swim, because if you ain't going to play him in these games, does he have a future at West Ham? That's how I always see it. He's got to that age now. It's like where Cullen and Burke are at that age now. You either play him or you're just going to have to shift them on. They're now getting to that age where they need to be playing football. McCassie's not that far behind them, I don't think. It'd be good to see. I can't pronounce this guy's second name. Saeed Haksbananovic or whatever, however he says his name. It'd be good to see him a bit more. Like you said, Quina. I assume he's injured. Marcus Brown. I've always liked Marcus Brown. Whenever see Brown, but I'm not sure. We'll see. It's just unfortunate that Dan Kemp and Nathan Holland are both injured for this one as well, because I really like those two players. But David Moyes, if let's just take the FA Cup as a whole and the League Cup, considering, are you going to hold his cup performances against him come the end of the season when it's a case of do fans want Moyes to stay on or not? Or are you going to hold this against him, or are you going to understand that he's under such straining circumstances that the cups weren't really, he doesn't really get a fair hand, if you like?
He hasn't got a fair hand, and I wouldn't really hold it against him, to be honest with you, this time. Though if he continued down that route, say he became permanent manager, it would start to build, and he still did this, and this was still going on, I would start to build resentment. But the main reason I wouldn't is I don't think it's his fault. I think ultimately, at the end of the day, right, this is all about the fact we just don't have it. Our squad's not big enough. It was, you pointed this out again, I think you and Gonzo, when the season started, we had 22 registered players, and 2 of them were like pointless ones, you know. So, and you're like, why? Why have we got 25 players in our squad like everybody else does? And this is what happens when that happens. And then you spend the whole of January taking forever and waiting to the last minute to try and buy bargains. You know, we've got a paper-thin squad, but always a couple of injuries. The injuries we most feared, let's face it, were Lanzini or Arnautovic, and we've got them both at the same time. And with couple of all the other injuries, this is what happens. You've got a paper-thin squad. So it's not his fault. He's got almost no options here in way of squad. Going to have to play youngsters, given the fact that he has to get something out of the Palace game on Tuesday, or all those good results we had around Christmas period are worthless. Palace go straight past a load of other teams will as well. That's where the pressure is for him. And if he wants to change it, he's got such a limited resource to do it.
Yeah, I have a little bit of sympathy for him for this Saturday, but League Cup, none. Joe Amario, looks like he's going to sign today. Well, it looks like he's signed today. We're waiting for it to be announced. Would you risk him at all on Saturday, or would you leave him at the squad completely for Crystal Palace on Tuesday?
I would just leave him for Palace. I've got to admit, I think it's like they might take him up there and say, "You could have been here." I'm joking, but like I think I'd leave him for Tuesday. I mean, he's only just got off the plane. He's done the medical. Let him have a day to check in and to his hotel wherever he's staying to get somewhere, or maybe he's staying permanent hotel for 6 months. I don't know. But like, and let him meet some of the other players in the squad and stuff, and have a couple of training sessions, you know, with some of the people maybe who aren't playing on Saturday. You got the idea, and maybe have a bit of a catch up with them and settle in a bit, and then rather than just throw him in the deep end. Also, the last thing we want is some defender going right through him up at Wigan and that rules him out for a few weeks, and you're like, brilliant.
Yeah,
so I would leave him out.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one as well. I wouldn't risk him. You know, David Moyes has had a week to prepare for this game now. It's probably been a while since he's had a week to prepare for the game, actually. So he should have prepared for this without this guy in his plans. So I would play him. But are you confident then, Mike? Saturday, 3 p.m, we go to Wigan in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Are you confident you're going to see West Ham in the draw for the 5th round?
In a word, no. I'm not in any way confident whatsoever. I actually think the best outcome that we can hope for, I actually think they'll beat us. I think the best we can hope for is a draw, which is the Moyes nightmare scenario. But I'm not in any way confident. Are you confident?
No, I'm a bit worried actually. The pressure's on us. I know they're the team in league form. They're at home. The bookies have got us quite even actually. The bookies aren't, if anything, I think Wigan are slight favourites for this one, which is quite alarming that the bookies value the League One side as favourites over the Premier League side. That shouldn't be happening regardless of who they are, etc. But we've just got barely any players. We're down to the bare bones. Moyes will be worrying about Tuesday. There is a small silver lining for Tuesday, and that is Antonio, Jose Fonte, they both should be on the bench at least on Tuesday, and Mario should be signed by then. So he should have 3 players on Tuesday. It doesn't have for Saturday. But going by what we've seen against Shrewsbury, it's difficult to be really upbeat and confident about this one because Wigan are better than Shrewsbury. And it's just the attitude of the players, actually, were the letdown against Shrewsbury. But saying all that, what's your prediction then? Are you going for, give us your score prediction.
My one thing, before I do that, my one thing I would say is the Moyes count for us is they will attack us. And we are much better against teams that attack us than teams that want to sit and defend against us. I'm just like pro that. You look at all the results we got. Anyone who attacks us, we actually have a decent game against them, and we've got a good chance of getting something out of the game. But having said that, I think that they will beat us 2-0.
Crikey. I'm going to say 1-1 for this one. I think we're going to have another replay. I think it's going to be worst case scenario for David Moyes, and that is we're playing again at the London Stadium. But I'll tell you what, we were meant to have a third guest on the show tonight. We were supposed to have Dave from Sex, Drugs, Carlton Call. Didn't quite work out. However, if you want to go listen to their latest podcast, the link is in the description below where they talk about the latest transfer rumours, etc., etc. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you're new around here. We'll be back on Saturday with our review of the game at Wigan, hopefully celebrating West Ham in the next round. But Depends if you agree with Mike or myself, but you can let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you on Saturday.